Hey guys, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going on a fun journey and visiting all 22 independent bookstores in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, which means that it is time for the annual Cincinnati Book Crawl, an event that I look forward to every single year. I have my card, which I actually have completed, as I'm filming this on Sunday at the end of the crawl. And over the course of 3 days, my partner Sean and I did manage to visit every single store. I did purchase quite a few books because I want to support, right? That's the reason. And I'm really excited to show you what I got. A lot of things that I'm excited to read, some things that I have read that were favorites that I have been waiting to purchase until the book crawl. And so now that I've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. I filmed a little bit of all the bookstores for you, as well as a few updates from the road along the way. And I'll be back at the end of the journey to go through all my books and do my book haul and all that stuff. So if you want to skip ahead to that, feel free, but otherwise, enjoy the crawl. All right, so we made it. That was actually super cute, very cute. They're sharing a space with like a flower shop, so they've got all these cute little flower displays and like classes on how to make like cute little ghost planters. Super adorable. I did end up buying some stuff. I didn't think I was going to, but I did, and I'm gonna show all that stuff at the end, so don't worry about that now. We got our cards, which I was really excited about. So we are ready to go to a huge amount of places. And now off to the next place, which is going to be, according to my list that I made to organize, the Book Matters in Milford. So I will report in after that. Right, so I did pick up a book at the bookshelf, and I got to tell them that one of the residents, senior citizens that I know, was one of the founders there. So I felt like I knew a celebrity because she founded it 50 years ago. And then we drove over to the Cincy Book Rack, which is a really great store that has new and used books. They were having an author signing, so I felt like super awkward filming, so I didn't get very much, but didn't buy anything there. And now I think we are about to go get some dinner because I am starving, and I don't know if we'll go to any more stores. Like, I think we've got about an hour until it's over for tonight, but if not, then I will see you all tomorrow. All right, welcome to day 2 of the book crawl, and we have driven up to Sharonville, which is like 25-30 minutes north. These are all the stores I never go to because we don't live in this part of the city. So this one is the Book Bus Depot, and I'm going to show you some of it because they have a Volkswagen bus that they have fixed up as a bookmobile, and it is so cute, and I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and get day 2 started. All right, so we went to the book bus where I did buy two things. They have a lot of special editions from England and things like that that you don't really see. So I got two books there, and then we drove to my most favorite store in Cincinnati, which is the Friends of the Library store, and it was insane. I did not get a lot of footage in there because there were so many people, but I did get two books that I am really excited to read for a very good price. They were $3 a piece. Always check out your Friends of the Library store. And now we are going to try to hit a couple more before lunchtime. I am so hungry, so we are off. So we did go to two stores. We went to Household Books, which is one of my favorite used bookstores in the city. So great. Got one book there. Went to Manga, obviously all manga based on the name. I did get one book there also. And then now we are going to head downtown and go to the Ohio bookstore, which is quite an experience. It is, I think 5 floors, maybe, kind of like a huge book warehouse. It's crazy. I don't know if I'm going to go upstairs or just stay on the first level because it's a lot. And then we're going to go to Joy and Matt's, which is down by the main branch of the public library downtown. And then we'll see where we go after that. So off we go to the next place. All right, day 3 of the book crawl, and I have on all of my book gear. I have my Hobbit earrings. I'm ready. So last night we went to 2 bookstores that were new to me. We went to Snapdragon Books, and we went to, I think it's Enchanted Novelties, which is all the way up in Harrison, which is on the north side of the city, and I never go up there, but both of those were so cute. I got a lot of footage of the dragon from Snapdragon that is in the basement that you walk down this scary little tunnel to get to. The owners were so charming, and it's a brand new shop, and I'm totally going to go there again to buy books. I just thought it was so great. So I think we have 8 remaining stores to visit today, and right now we are sitting outside of Roebling Books and Coffee, which is actually one of my favorites and one of the ones that I do go to in northern Kentucky. And we're going to go in, check out some books, maybe buy a book, maybe get some coffee if the line isn't too long. We're actually here before the crawl actually starts because the bookstore and coffee shop obviously open earlier. So we are getting an early start this morning. We're going to try to go to both Roebling locations first this morning and then hit a couple of other stores in Covington, Kentucky. And then I'll be back with more of an update about where we're going to go next. All right, so we have been to either 4 or 5 places. I have lost count. This morning, we went to 2 coffee shop bookstores, Roebling. We went to the Friends of the Library store of Campbell County, Kentucky. And then we went to that kind of like Gothic kind of store that you all saw. Amazing. It was so exciting. I can't wait to show you all the package that I got there because they wrapped it amazing. It has a wax seal on it. And now we just got some lunch and we're about to head out to our last stores of the crawl. We have 4 remaining stores. We have 2 that are in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, which is where we are right now. So we're going to try to go there first. And then we're going to head to the one we missed in Cincinnati and one that is in Dayton, Kentucky. And then we should be done. And after that, I will be back to show you all the books that I got. Welcome back. I have to tell you all that that was so fun. I love an independent bookstore. I know I talk a lot on this channel about libraries, and I love libraries too, but I also feel that the independent bookstores in our communities are so important. They provide not just a handy way for you to purchase books, but they also become gathering places for the community. They run book clubs, other events. Some of them are nonprofits that donate their proceeds to a lot of various very worthy causes. And I'm going to start at the beginning of the book crawl on Friday, and I'm just going to kind of work my way through the books that I picked up. And we're going to start out with the book that I purchased from Bike Trail Books, which I know I talked about in a video. And I was so excited to see this book because this is a book that I have read. I gave it 5 stars. I do not own it, and I do like to own the books that I gave 5 stars to. And this is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. So this is a science fiction story that is set in a very mysterious place, a mysterious world where at the beginning of the book we have a group of women who are in prison and they do not know why. And that's the setup for the book. To say any more would be to spoil so many things that you would really, I think, enjoy finding out for yourself. I really love this book. I highly recommend it. It's a strange little piece of fiction. It's not very long. And I was able to pick up this absolutely fantastic special edition. So if you've seen the US cover, this very much looks like the US cover, which has a colorful version of this ladder going down into some kind of a bunker underground. And then on the back, just the author's name. And on the inside, we do have some pink and pages. So nothing super fancy in there, but I was so excited to pick this up. I also, at the same store, I did get some of the swag of the crawl. I got a Cincinnati bookstore sticker for the crawl, as well as a sticker from the store itself. This one says Bike Trail Books, and it has their mascot, who is a cute little frog. And I got the I Crawled at Bike Trail Books sticker for the Cincinnati book crawl, as well as, of course, the inevitable bookmark that you get when you purchase a book. So that was really fun. I think it might be the first book I've ever actually purchased from that store. So that was really fun. And then after that, we went to actually several different stores that were all on the east and northeast side of Cincinnati. I purchased one other book on Friday, and that is The Bell Witches by Lindsay Kelk. This is not a book that I know a whole lot about. I believe that it is a young adult kind of Southern Gothic paranormal story. I love, love, love the cover. I think the cover's so pretty. And I just wanted to pick something up at this store, and I saw this. And I don't usually do impulse buys of books, but this one just spoke to me. And on the back, it says, after Emily's father tragically dies, she's forced to live with her aunt and grandmother, the Bells, in the heart of Savannah, Georgia, in a house as beautiful as it is mysterious. The Bell family are hiding a magical secret. When Emily meets the alluring Wynn, she forms a connection that feels like it was always meant to be, but every step closer to him takes her a step further away from her family. Emily will soon find out that blood is always thicker than water. And it has a quote. The blurb on the back is from Allie Hazelwood. I do really enjoy Allie Hazelwood. It sounds like a young adult paranormal romance is what I am expecting. And I think there is going to be a point at which this is going to be exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm excited to read it. So those are all the books that I picked up on Friday night. On Saturday, we didn't get as quite an early start as I wanted, and then we did take a wrong turn and start at a completely different part of the city than I was planning on. But it was good because I picked up 2 books at our first stop of the day, which was the book bus, which hopefully I got some footage of the bus because that's the cool thing about that store, the VW bus. And I got 2 books. The first one is so seasonal, and I thought it was so beautiful. And it's this special edition copy of Agatha Christie's Halloween Party. I'm going to show you all the cover on this because it's gorgeous. Show you the back so you can see it. I think that this is a British edition of this story. This is a Hercule Poirot mystery. I don't believe that I've ever read it. I have no memory of ever having read this one. I read probably all the Miss Marple stories, but I haven't read all the Hercule Poirot. And so I am excited to read this one, possibly this month. We'll see. I have given myself a lot of things to read in October, but it might happen. So hold your breath if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that. And then the other one that I got is a book by an author who is local to the Cincinnati area. And I knew that she had a new book out. I've seen it. It's published by Hyperion Avenue. And this is called American Werewolves by Emily Jane. And I am so into this because it is the idea that there are werewolves in America. And if you were a werewolf in America, what else would you be besides a venture capitalist? And to me, that was perfect. So I was really excited to read the back of this book. This is an autographed copy. because she did a signing at the bookstore. And I'm pretty excited to read this one. Again, it feels pretty seasonal or fallish. If anyone has read this book since it came out, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But I just thought it was perfect. So I was excited to pick that one up also. And then after we visited the book bus, I worked my way to my most favorite bookstore in the city. You all know it is the Friends of the Hamilton and Cincinnati Library. And I shop there. I go to that store at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. I buy so many discarded library books as well as other books that people have just donated to them. And I picked up two while I was there. They were so busy. It was insanely busy, but I did manage to find two. One of them is a book that I have read and I absolutely loved and wanted a copy, and that is Angie Kills a King by Evan Lycum. So I was able to pick up a copy of this, which I would say seems pretty much brand new. It doesn't even seem like it was read at all. And I paid $3 for it. So that was a great deal. Was really excited about that. And the other one is a discarded library book. And that is No Gods, No Monsters by Cadwell Turnbull, which I have heard really good things about. But I'm not 100% sold that I'm going to like it. So I was happy to pick up this very inexpensive $3 copy so I can try it out and see if it's something that I'm going to enjoy. I will be taking the Mylar jacket off of this. I do that with all my discarded library books just so they look a little bit nicer on my shelf, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So these two books from the Friends of the Library store for $6. Then we made our way down into the College Hill neighborhood in Cincinnati, which I would say is kind of like north central part of the city. And we got to visit one of my most favorite bookstores in the entire city, probably my favorite used bookstore that is not the Friends of the Library, and that is Household Books, which just moved over there. They were in a different part of the city. So this was my first visit to their new location, and it was so good to see the owner and see all the books in their new homes, and it's in a super cute location. I picked up one book, and these are all used books. So I think I paid $6 for this. This is The Last Witch, which is the first book in the Witcher series. So this is actually a set of short stories, and I have actually already been reading this in a copy from the library, and I wanted to get my own copy so that I could inspire myself to finish reading it because I'm so slow on short stories, but I want to read more of them. So I picked up just like a used copy of this, and I'm excited to continue reading this and hopefully finish it soon. And then right next to Household Books, we actually have the only dedicated manga store in Cincinnati, which is Manga Manga. And they're so friendly. I love it there. I don't read a ton of manga, but every year when we have the book crawl, I try to buy at least one, and I try to make it cat themed because that's what I've got going on. And so I picked up Junji Ito's Cat Diary. Check it out. So this is a horror manga writer. So he usually writes very frightening things. And he has written this just adorable book about his two cats. So I had to pick it up. I actually thought about getting one of his scary books, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that right now. So I picked up this instead. I think it's going to be really fun and a really nice read for any season really, but he's being a little bit frightened of his cats on the front. So I'm very curious about what is going on in this book. I am so excited to read it. After we finished up at the manga store, we decided to go all the way to downtown Cincinnati. We actually used to live in downtown Cincinnati. We lived there for about 5 years before we moved into our current home. And I really love it downtown. I always love walking around. So we parked and we went to the two bookstores that were downtown, and we walked through the main branch of the public library while we were there, since I don't think we'd been there since they finished some recent renovations. So that was fun. First one we went to was the Ohio Bookstore, which I showed you all. And it is a crazy experience. I think I said that, but I'm going to say it again. It is like 5 stories of used books, like floor to ceiling. I mean, it is a crazy experience. If you like collectible older books, it is a place that I would not miss if you were in the area. But I did not purchase anything there this time. So then I did go to Joy and Matt's bookstore, which is across from the public library. And I always really enjoy because they have a great fantasy and sci-fi section, which is not always the case in bookstores. Some of them you can tell they don't read any fantasy and sci-fi. So it's like in the back corner by a bathroom or something. And I picked up 3 books, but you'll see why. Okay, so I picked up, because they had them, I got all 3 books in the Expanse series by James S. A. Corey that I do not actually own. I have been buying them one at a time, but that strategy has fallen apart as I have gotten further up in the series because most bookstores do not stock all 9 books of a 9-book series. And I owned books 1 through 5, and then I owned book 9. So I needed 6, 7, and 8, and I was able to find them. This one, Babylon's Ashes, I've actually already read. And then I'm going to be reading Persepolis Rising. And what's this one called? Tiamat's Wrath, coming up very soon, in the next year. So my plan is to finish this series next year. And now I have all the books in the series, and I'm going to have to shift all the books over my head over so that I can fit these giant, chunky sci-fi books in there. But I am really excited I was able to find them because I have been on a hunt. I actually had to read book 6 as an ebook because I could not find a copy of it anywhere, and I didn't want to order it because I always want to buy from my local independent bookstores when I can. So after we finished with the bookstores downtown, we took a little detour over to the east side of the city down by the river to visit 2 stores that we didn't get to on the first night that I'd had on my list. And one of them is one of my favorite bookstores. It is the Bookery. It's in Columbia, Tusculum, which is right on the river. It's a really cool old neighborhood full of Victorian homes and really cool and cute little shops and breweries and things like that. Highly recommend visiting it if you were in town. And I picked up a book that I knew they would have because I buy a lot of books from them. I also got a hat. So first I'll show you the hat, which you probably already saw because I think I was wearing it in half the videos. So there's their logo, and I needed a new hat. So I have a new hat. It is millennial pink because I am a cliche. And then I also got a book. Where did it go? I picked up a book I've already finished, and if you have seen my video on Monday this week, you saw that I read What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. This is the 3rd book in the Sworn Soldier series, which is a series of little novellas, horror novels that are, the first one was based on an Edgar Allan Poe story, and then the rest have just been continuing on with those characters. Absolutely love this series. This just came out, and I hadn't seen it anywhere else, but I knew they would have it, and they did. So I stood in a very long line in a very hot shop to purchase this book. And I'm so excited to put it on my shelf behind me with the other 2 in the series. After we finished the shops that I did not get to on Friday, then at the very end of Saturday, we headed up on the west side and the northwest side, very, very far away from me, of Cincinnati to go to 2 stores that I had not gone to that morning because we, as I said, we took a wrong turn. And those stores I had never been to. They were brand new, and I was so impressed with both of them. They both exist in places that I would consider to be kind of like a bookstore desert. Like there are no other bookstores in this part of town. The first one was on the west side, and it is called Snapdragon Books and Gifts. And I know that I took a ton of footage of that bookstore because it was insane. They have built a dragon's lair in their basement. There's like a little tunnel that goes under the house that you have to go through to get to it. They've got some other like funny things, like you open a door, there's just an alien with a TV set. I don't know why. The owners were so cool. It was the whole family there working, like the parents and the kids and like somebody's mom, and it was adorable. And it was in this old Victorian house, and I just loved it so much. I will be going there again to purchase more books. And I did get a sticker, which of course has the dragon in it, of course. And then I got a book, and it's a book I've already read, and you all have seen me read this. It is Grave Empire by Richard Swan, which has a fantastic cover. This is a horror fantasy novel, so it's kind of like a creepy fantasy, which is about a world in which there's some kind of an apocalyptic event coming. It's a fantasy novel. Highly recommended. Really loved it. This is the start of a new series, and I just thought it was really fantastic, and it was on my list to find, so I was really excited to pick it up. And then the last shop that we visited on Saturday was called Enchanted Novelties, and it is in Harrison, Ohio. I actually used to have a weekend job sometimes in Harrison, so I was familiar with the area. Did not know they had any bookstores. It has what I would consider to be kind of like the quintessential American small town. It's definitely not really a part of Cincinnati. It is, people who live in Harrison will tell you they live in Harrison, not in Cincinnati. And this bookstore, I don't know what I was expecting. Probably like some kind of like, gift shop, and like they've got a few books, and I wasn't expecting a lot, but it was huge. And they had such a good selection, and they run so many book clubs, and the owners were dressed in costume, and I was just so into it. I thought it was great. So great. Such a surprise. And I picked up 3 books. They had some boxes in the back that were full of books that were either overstocked or lightly damaged. And so I picked up 3 books. 2 of them are from the same, I guess they're from the same series. So this is a young adult romance with kind of like a nerdy twist to it. So the first one is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. And then we have, of course, Dating and Dragons. How about that? I've seen really excellent feedback on both of these books, so I was really excited to find both of them. They were cheap, so I paid less than the price of one book to get both of these. And at some point when I am ready for a nice little break from all the heavy and scary and dark and fantastical things that I read, I'm definitely going to be giving these a try. So I was really excited to find those. And then I picked up a book. Again, I have no idea why this book was in the damaged pile, because I can't see anything wrong with it. But it is the 3rd book in a series that I'm in the middle of, and it is The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. Love, love, love that dragon. So I have read book 1, The Shadow of the Gods, in this series, and I own book 2, but I didn't own book 3 yet. So now I have the whole series, I think. Is there a 4th one? I think there's only 3 in this series. And I'm really excited to get to read it. Okay, so we have made it to Sunday. So this is my entire weekend. This is what I did. I went to bookstores and I ate food that was not good for me for the most part. And I had a great time doing it. So this morning we decided we were going to go to all the stores that were in Northern Kentucky. If you're not from the Cincinnati area, or if you've never visited, Northern Kentucky consists of several what I would call river towns that exist right on the Ohio River. And they are basically suburbs or adjacent towns to Cincinnati. People who live in Northern Kentucky would probably just tell you they're from Cincinnati. I live in Northern Kentucky, and I would tell you that I'm from Cincinnati most of the time, because if you say Northern Kentucky, people don't know what you mean. I also work in Cincinnati, so it's very much like we're all part of the same ecosystem. So this morning, first we went to Roebling Books and Coffee in Newport, which is one of those river towns that I talked about. And this is a bookstore that I go to all the time. It's also my favorite coffee shop in town. They are so nice. They have amazing displays, which I think I got some great footage of. And I just love them. And I was so excited to visit them for the book haul or book crawl. And they gave me a Banned Book Month book card that has a list on the back of the top 10 challenged books. And I also picked up a new tote bag from them. Sean said that I'm not allowed to get any more tote bags, but I'm going to keep buying tote bags because I love them. And then I did buy one book. They had a display that was just female science fiction authors, which I loved. And they had these anthologies that I've never seen before. And these are anthologies of female science fiction short stories. And this one, I think, is from the 1950s and 1960s. It's called The Future is Female. And I have to show you all the picture on the cover. And it has a lot of different authors that I honestly have never heard of. And that's a gap in my knowledge. It does have Ursula K. Le Guin, which, of course, we know who that is. It has 9 Lives in there from 1969. But a lot of authors that I've never heard of. I'm so excited to read some stories from this and really kind of learn a little bit more about the female authors of this era. They have volume 2, which they also had, which is stories from the 1970s. But I thought I'd start with the earlier one. And I am so excited to get to read that. It was such a good find and cannot wait. So after I got a hot apple cider, because it's October and it's time, we drove over to the Friends of the Campbell County Library Store. Campbell County is in Newport. It's one of the 2 or 3 counties that are right on the border, as I said, of Cincinnati. And I don't usually go to this store because usually they're only open at like 9 a.m. on a Thursday. Like they don't do a great job of being open hours that I can actually go there if I have a job. So I went in the store and I bought 2 books. And I don't know a lot about either one of these, but I have seen them before. So if you have read them, I would love if you would let me know. The first one is kind of, I think, a horror thriller novel, and it is Something in the Walls by Daisy Pierce. So I've seen this cover before. I feel like I've seen people read it, and it looks interesting. The comp titles here are Midsummer and The Haunting of Hill House. And I don't know a lot more about it than that. So let me know if you read it and what you thought about it, and if you feel like it's something I would enjoy. I hope so, because I paid $2 for it. So, and this is not a library copy, and neither is the other one that I got from that store. This is The Failures by Benjamin Lyer, and this is a fairly recent fantasy release from Daw that I have seen. I know a few other booktubers read. I don't know much about it. I didn't even bother to read the inside cover, to be honest. I was just like, well, I recognize that one, so I'm going to pick it up, because you know how it is at a used store. It's like a lot of stuff that you're like, I don't know what that is. So the minute I recognize a title, especially if it's not a library copy, it's just a copy somebody donated, I'm probably going to pick that up and buy it. So let me know if you've read either one of those. But that was a pretty good trip. I didn't get nearly as many books as some of the people I saw carrying around giant baskets, but we still had a lot of stores to go to. After that, we drove over to Covington, which is another river town, and there were 3 stores in Covington. And we went to all 3 of them. One of them was the other location of Roebling Books and Coffee. I didn't buy anything there since I'd already bought something at the first one, but we visited the other store so that I could say that I did. And then we went to a kind of like a collectible bookstore. It's called Conveyor Belt Books, and everything they have there is kind of like more unusual things. They have a big selection of paperbacks from like the 50s through the 80s, kind of that time period. I picked up a newer book, but it is one that I really wanted to own and I don't, and that is a copy of The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. So I was excited to pick this one up. This is a short story collection. I think it has a framing device, like there's something linking the stories together. I don't know that this is one of the Bradbury collections that I have read before. I read a lot of them back in high school, but again, short stories are on my list of things that I need to read more of. So I was really excited to pick up a few short story collections. And then after that, there was a store that was new to me, and it's called Hierophany and Hedge. Hierophany and Hedge is a store that I was like, I don't understand what this is. It's kind of gothic. It's a little bit occult. They have like tarot decks, and you can buy wands. Would you like to buy a really fancy wooden wand? And I walked in the door and I was like, oh my goodness, this is the coolest place that I have ever been. They had taken this kind of blank storefront in the old downtown area, and they had custom woodwork made for every single part of that store. They had all these old curiosities for you to look at, and the merchandise, they actually had quite a lot of books. It was a little bit specialized. So I really wanted to find something to buy at this store because I just thought it was so cool, and I admired the proprietors doing all that work so much. They were so cool to talk to. And I did find a book, and I'm going to show you all. I have not unwrapped it because it is so cool. Look at this. I have to show you. They wrapped it up in wax black paper. This is a seal, a wax, like an actual wax seal that they did. And they put a little business card in here. Oh, it's a book plate, actually. They gave me a little book plate. And oh my gosh, like, I don't even know. Like, I was so excited. They even wrapped up a sticker that I got in like this like little green paper. I'm gonna take the sticker out first. So I think that's amazing that they wrapped a sticker. It says Hierophany and Hedge, roast marshmallows, not witches. Which, yeah, we should. Good advice. So I like that. And I'm going to undo the package again. I hate to do it because I think it's so beautiful. I love that they did this. The wax seal, like, it's just so deeply cool. Am I going to need a pair of scissors? I'm going to need a pair of scissors. Scissors. Let's go ahead and open that. Cut the twine. All right. And then It's sealed with little seals with their name on it. I mean, it was just such dedication to a theme. I have never seen anything like it. If you are ever in town, please do visit. I would recommend it highly. It was certainly something like I have never experienced, and I hope that they do well in their business. So I bought a book that I've been looking for the whole weekend that I hadn't found, and I didn't think I was going to find. And it's on my TBR this month, so you all already know that it is House of Leaves. Yes. I said I was going to buy a physical copy of this if I could find it, because you can't read this, and you should not read this, I think, in a ebook format, because so much of it, it's just made up of so many different types of things. And there are places where like the text is upside down or something, where you have like, I don't know, it's just got a lot of stuff in it. I read a lot of stuff in ebook form, you'll know, but this is not one of those. So I am so excited, and I'm planning to start it this week. So I will let you all know what I think. It's probably going to take me a little while. There is a lot of text inside this thing, and I am so excited. And one of you told me to take notes, so I'm going to be taking some notes. All right, and we are getting to the end of the book crawl now. So we went to Fort Thomas, Kentucky, which is another one of those river towns. And I went to 2 bookstores. One of them I didn't purchase anything at. That's the Hidden Chapter, which I think I mentioned has a bookshelf wardrobe that you can walk through to get to the coffee shop next door. Love that. And then I went to Blue Marble Books, which is kind of a children's bookstore, but they are expanding into adult books, and I bought a book, so I'll show you that. So the book I purchased is another one that I was like, well, I want to read this in physical format, and I don't know if I can get it from the library. There's a wait, and that is Strange Pictures by Uketsu. This is the brightest colored book that I've ever seen. Japanese horror, and it has also a lot of like illustrations and diagrams and stuff in it that I just feel like you're going to want to read in physical form. So this is another one that I'm going to be reading pretty soon, probably. I'm excited for that. And I also, at that bookstore, picked up a book sleeve. So I have been wanting a book sleeve. I don't own one to carry physical books around with me. And I got this one, which I just love. It is got little skulls all over it. I just think it's very my aesthetic, I think. It's very me, and it's going to be perfect for trade paperback size books up to, I tested it, up to like the smaller size of hardcovers should also fit. So that fits in there very nicely. So if I want to carry a book with me and read it, I can. So I'm really excited about that purchase because I really needed one of these. And there are 2 stores remaining. We did go to Inc. Northern Kentucky, Indy, Northern Kentucky. I think that's right. And it's a zine store. And they also have some graphic novels. I didn't purchase anything there, but I did go there, and they are super fun. And then I went to the last stop, and that is Downbound Books, which is in Northside, which is kind of downtown, kind of north central. It's hard to explain. It's an industrial area, but it's also a really cool area with lots of like kind of bohemian kind of shops. Really, really recommend that. And I picked up 2 books. I've never bought anything at this bookstore because usually when I go there, I never find anything that feels like it's like my thing. And I got 2 books, and I was so excited. And they also gave me a sticker. It says, I crawled all over Downbound Books, and they liked it. 2025 book crawl sticker. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed. And I got 2 books. So the first one I got was on my list to find this weekend, and that was the new Thursday Murder Club book, The Impossible Fortune by Richard Osman. This just came out like last week. And this is a signed copy, which I wasn't expecting. And so I was excited to get that. You all know how much I love the Thursday Murder Club. I'm going to wait a month or 2 before I read this one because I just read a bunch of them in a row to get caught up. But I cannot wait to get to book 5. So excited that I have it in my hands and I can read it soon. And then we have one more book, last book of the book crawl. This is probably the only other kind of like impulse buy. I had maybe 2 this whole time. And I have seen this book, and I'm feeling like I want to try to get into some Japanese horror or crime literature. This one's crime literature. This is The Man Who Died 7 Times by Yasuhiko Nishizawa. And I'm going to show you all this cover. This cover's cool. It's so cool. And it says, the classic time loop murder mystery. In the middle of the family New Year's gathering at his home, grandfather Fuchigama is murdered, but not for the last time. For his grandson, Hisataro, has fallen into a mysterious time loop in which he must relive the same day 9 times. Every morning after his grandfather's death, he wakes up with a chance to find the culprit and prevent the murder, but day after day he fails, despite stumbling across clues aplenty in the shape of secret plots, illicit love affairs, and jealous rivalries. With an extremely large inheritance up for grabs, everyone is a suspect, and Hisataro is beginning to wish he could leave this day behind. I don't know. I just thought that sounded perfect. And as I said, I'd like to try out some Japanese crime literature and Japanese literature in general. I just read one. I just read The Cat Who Saved the Library. So I was telling Sean, so obviously now that's my thing. Obviously now I'm a Japanese translated literature person. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, and there you have it. That is my book haul that I got on the Cincinnati Book Crawl this year. Please go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite independent bookstore is, or what your favorite find that you've ever gotten from an independent bookstore might be. And if you have an independent bookstore in your town, I encourage you to get out sometime in the next couple weeks and pay them a visit, see if they have any book clubs coming out you might be interested in, and just generally lend them our support, because I think that they are so important for a community. And one of the things that I thought was so great about this particular book crawl was that you really got to see how every store suits the community that it exists within, and they all have their own personalities. And that was wonderful. I loved it so much. So go ahead and leave me that comment and let me know your favorite indie bookstore. And if you're feeling quiet, go ahead and leave me the stack of books emoji, because I had a big stack of books at the end of this haul. And with that, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.